Video number 19 in this project as we learn how to make a video. Congratulations on making it all this way, and really do appreciate all the attention you've put into doing this. It's a lot of work, but very rewarding, a lot of fun, and you're learning some great skills. So we've reached the point now where we can export the movie, put it into a format that can be used in a DVD, uploaded to YouTube, presented on a computer, put on a flash drive, whatever it happens to be, however you want to use the movie. And we need to do that because in the current state of this movie, that which you are looking at on your sequence, here on your timeline, it's very important to know that all of this is all very temporary space. It's in a state that's quite fragile, actually, because all of this information that you look at here, this is not copies of these images or copies of black video. It's all here temporarily. If you take any one of these pictures here, this picture, let's say we zoom in here, and so we're showing this picture, but the program, Premiere Pro, is really just building a map to the location of where this picture is. If you were to go out into Windows and delete that picture or move that picture, you would see your timeline start to crumble. So it's very important that you don't do that. You've got to leave everything where it is, and it's another reason why you don't want to build a movie with all of your resources over on Drive B or in your Dropbox or on some server somewhere, because it'd be very easy for those resources to get moved, deleted, something to change, and to break down, and then you'd see your entire timeline. Days, hours of work just collapse, and it's quite frustrating, and I know that because I've had it happen before. I had to learn the hard way many, many years ago. So what we need to do is export it and put it into a format that is solid, can be backed up, can be copied, can be watched on Windows, a media player, whatever it happens to be that we want to do. So here's how we do it. Make sure that we're clicked on the timeline. Step 2, make sure, you'll see this little gray bar here that you probably have not paid much attention to, but that defines our export region or area, and you want to make sure, notice that you can slide that. Now you want to make sure that it covers your entire timeline. If you have it here, it would export everything upstream to the left here. It would not export this, and so you'd be watching your movie and say, what happened to my movie? I don't know. Part of it's missing, and this is why. It's because of this thing here, this like export bar. So you want to make sure it's right at the end, and then you'll notice there those little diamonds popping up right at the end, showing you that it has snapped to the end of your movie. Now you could take it out here and it would export a bunch of black is what it would do, and we don't want to do that. We want it right there at the end, and then we make sure it's also at the beginning. So sometimes it's easy to inadvertently change that. Now it's a very useful tool because there's times where you might want to just export a little section of your movie just to review it, take a look and see how it looks full screen. So with that done, we can go ahead now and export. Once again, make sure you clicked on the timeline. And here's what we're going to do. Click on File. Scroll down here to Export. Media. And our export settings window appears. I'm going to close that and do it one more time for you. File on the main menu, Export, Media, Export Settings. The settings that we are going to use for this movie is going to be AVI. And you'll notice there are a lot of different settings. We can talk about that another time, but right now we want to use AVI. NTSC digital video, output name. Now this is where it's important to make sure you have the name that you want and the location. So we click that. Now I already have a folder created called Movies. I would recommend that you do that within your video production folder. Have a folder created, and you can do it right now by creating a new folder, and call it Movies. And this would be a nice place for you to put all of your completed movies. And you see I have some there already, some recent uploads to YouTube, Graduation 2015, and then that demo video of this particular movie that I uploaded recently. So you can come in here and give it a name. So it's a location in my movie folder. Now give it a name. And so it's going to be your name. And whatever the name of your movie is, or you can just call it your lava movie. Most important thing, make sure we have your name and lava in there somehow. And then click Save. Looks good. And then we come down to the bottom. And you're welcome to look through. There's some summary information here showing how long the movie is. You should now know by now that it's going to export 2 minutes, 12 seconds, and 5 frames. We click Q, which is a word for lineup. You can actually export more than one timeline. Now it's opening up another program. It is called the Adobe Media Encoder. And there is our movie, an AVI movie, NTSC. There's the location where the movie is saved or going to be saved. And the name, and this is what we want to see, ready. We like that. And of course there's a bunch more presets. We're just going to leave the ones that came up by default. And there's a movie that I had a problem with earlier. You don't want to see that. That's not much fun. I did get that fixed. And then we click the play button. And we're going to look down in this area and you will see, not currently encoding, this is where it happens, and you will see your movie being built. Okay. And of course this takes time, takes longer for longer movies. But I will tell you, with these new computers and this new software we have, that which we're doing now would have taken a long time to do. Now it takes less than a minute. It's just flying by. There's our remaining time. Also takes longer if it's video. Just depends on how much information has to be processed. This is going to go pretty quickly. I would predict less than a minute. Yep, now it's really moving. And we'll get a nice little sound here, which is a happy sound. That's what we want to hear. And the movie is done. And so at this point, you can minimize these programs. And now I would navigate out to where you are saving your movies. And I'm trying to remember where I'm saving my movies. I think, oh yes, thought space. There's my movie folder. And there it is. Matt Hartung Lava Movie. And then you can double click it and watch it in Windows. Full screen, sit back, eat some popcorn. And this is a great place to do that review of it and see if there's any issues. And it's just a nice experience to watch your movie. And so there you go. You made it. Our first feature film completed. And now we can move on and start doing some other independent projects and just having a great time in the world of video production. Enjoy your movie. I'm looking forward to seeing it. All right. Looking forward to seeing some of you someday at the Academy Awards of Motion Pictures.